So first of all, graphing an inequality, to begin, is no different than graphing a regular equation. So everything we were doing before, this is still my y-intercept, positive 1. This is still my slope, positive 2/3. And it all works the exact same way. So we can start by making the points the same way we did before. So follow along with me. We're going to do this the same way we did last week. I'm going to start at positive 1 on the y-axis. So I'm going to go and make a dot at positive 1. Our slope is 2/3. It's positive. So just like last week, I'm going to go up 2, right 3. Up 2, 1, 2, 3. Up 2, 1, 2, 3. Or if I wanted to, I could go down 2, 1, 2, and left 3, 1, 2, 3, because two negatives, down and left, would still make a positive. So down 2 and left 1, 2, 3. For inequalities, it is important that you have this go all the way across your graph. Don't just make one little piece of it over here. You'll see why in a moment. So when you connect the dots, just make sure that you connect them all the way across the grid. If you don't have a ruler, that's fine. It doesn't need to be perfectly straight for what we're doing. So we have our line, but this is not correct. And this is where using a pencil for this becomes really, really helpful. I've connected my dots, but I've connected them incorrectly for what I've been asked to do. This is where it comes in with the symbols. It says here greater than. To understand why we are going to do what we are about to do, we have to remember last semester. Last semester, we graphed things that looked like this. X is greater than 1. You don't need to write this part down. And then we had a number line, and we said, here's 0, here's 1. And we said, oh, this is an underline, so should I use an empty circle or a solid dot? Who remembers from last semester? Empty circle or solid dot? Just go ahead and say it. It's going to be empty. So I would draw an empty circle, and I would say it points to the right. What if it was underlined? What would that change? Then I would make it solid. The same idea is going to apply here. Is this underlined? So should it be solid? It should not. Any ideas on what I can do to make this line still be a line but not be solid? I'm not going to make it wavy. I'm not going to make it zigzag. I still want it to be straight. We had this idea yesterday that the dots should not be filled in. Where I make my points, they should be empty circles like we had before. But that's not going to do it for me. Any other ideas? You've seen this before where someone wants you to sort of envision that a line is there, but not a solid line. What you would do then is you would make a dotted line. And if you're using a pencil, you can just erase little bits of this until you have a dotted line. I prefer to draw it solid and erase afterwards because I can't draw a straight line with dashes like this. It's easier for me to draw it straight as a solid line and erase afterwards. It's your choice. But there's one more step to this. So it wasn't underlined. We knew it shouldn't be solid, but over here, last semester, we drew an arrow to say everything over there is greater than. So we have to do something here to say all of this is greater than the line we drew. And this goes back to what we said a moment ago. Is greater than bigger or smaller? Bigger. Is greater than above or below? Higher or lower?
Higher.
So everything that is above, it's higher, it's bigger, is what we are going to shade in. So what we are doing now is we're saying everything up here, you're going to go ahead and shade it in, everything that is above the dotted line that I just drew is a solution to this inequality. And you don't have to shade it in super dark. If you want to, you can make it as dark as you want. But it's everything above the line. What this means is that any point, any random point, that is in this shaded area, I don't care if it's down here, way up here, way over here, if I pick any random point and plug it into this inequality, x comma y, it will give me a true statement.